There's no one who's ever been significantly in my life for whom I don't have a sort of tenderness because they help to shape who I am. You really don't have a life when you're working. I always think, oh, I'm gonna see everybody on my days off. I'm gonna read so many books and see so many films, and then 3 months go by. I did do some Shakespeare on film. It's really difficult. It's really interesting, because I was doing a series in Canada called Slings and Arrows, and it was about a company based around the Stratford Festival. You know, I have some issues. But I just love to play different characters all the time, and I try not to repeat myself too much. I love those preliminary conversations about who a character is. You try on wigs, shoes and clothes. It's preferable when it's not about looking pretty. It can get a little dull to just be cute. We talk about things like, maybe my character can't afford these Christian Louboutins. I'm very silly as a person, but quality silliness on screen has more of an art to it. Harrison Ford, whom I was in Morning Glory with, has mastered that dry funny better than anyone. I sort of always had an inkling towards some kind of an art form. I grew up in a very small town, and I just figure skated. My dad played hockey and I was surrounded by sports, but it wasn't quite doing it for me. I wasn't totally fulfilled, and I did a lot of skating. My mother never put an emphasis on looks. She let us grow up on our own timeline. She never forced any beauty regimen into my world. If I hurt someone, if I were to accidentally poke someone's eye out, I would laugh. And then I'd say, I'm sorry, I really do feel bad, but then I'm on the floor rolling. The craziest thing I've ever done to get a guy's attention? I admit I stalked someone. I showed up at a restaurant where I knew the guy worked, and we were actually good friends and had lost touch, and I pretended that I didn't know he worked there. A friend of mine had this great theory about the Teletubbies, that it's preparing us for being mindless and getting us ready for living in an underground world. That's why the scenery is so flat. I confess I am a romantic. I love romance, and I think it's really fun and delicious, and some of my favorite films are love stories. I think that you just get a chance to fall in love with the characters so much, and you get to explore their lives so deeply. I think one thing that kids who grow up on farms really have going for them is they have exposure to death and birth in a totally different way. I think it takes away a little bit of the mystery and a little bit of the fear, and I do wish I had that. And I wish I was able to grow my own food. I want to work with great directors and try not to put too much pressure on myself, and just read things for the story and recognize when I'm drawn to something for the right reasons and try to maintain some sanity. My mother never put an emphasis on looks. She let us grow up on our own timeline. She never forced any beauty regimen into my world. I feel like I'm going backwards, actually, as I get older. I'm regressing. I feel more and more like a kid, which is kind of a fun feeling. The craziest thing I've ever done to get a guy's attention? I admit I stalked someone. I showed up at a restaurant where I knew the guy worked, and we were actually good friends and had lost touch, and I pretended that I didn't know he worked there. I love books where you can't get out of bed. You want to consume them in one sitting, devour them. Those are my favorites, where you've almost abandoned your life for them. That doesn't happen every time, but those are the best. A friend of mine had this great theory about the Teletubbies, that it's preparing us for being mindless and getting us ready for living in an underground world. That's why the scenery is so flat.